The cake exercise in control structure challenges requires a little bit of explanation. So I'm going to click on show exercise. I'm going to hit run demo. I type in how old I am. Let me say 4 and hit enter. And this is what happens. And what you probably want to do right away when looking at this problem is to create the shapes like the orange cake and the blue base, and then put a set position so that it's basically in the center of the screen somewhere, right? And then put the blue one below the orange one. And you'd probably want to just put hard code a number for the X and the Y of the set position. But we don't want to do that. We want to create a cake that will be centered regardless of the size of the screen. So we want everything to be in terms of get width and get height. So another thing to notice is that the blue base is can be thought of as being as long as a number of radius of the purple circle, right? So the blue base is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 balls, and that's 2 radius each, so that's 13 diameters. And then we also have 1 radius here, and we have 1 radius here. So it is 14 diameters long. And then if you look at the height, it looks like this is about 1 radius here and another radius here. So the height is 3 radius. Okay. So what we should do first of all is to create the ball's radius. Okay. And if you look down here, it says, oh, use constants to control the size of your cake, so that if one value changes, the cake is still proportional, right? And the way that you could do that is you could define what the radius of the circles are first, and then have the orange cake be orange box's width be in terms of the radius of the circle, and its height be in terms of the radius of the circle. And then we'll do the same thing with the blue base, right? So what you want to do here to start off is say var, so maybe we could say like frost radius, and we could set that to, I don't know, maybe we could do 15, right? So make it 15, and then we'll have the function start. And then in here, when you go to make your circle, right, so you say var, I don't know, maybe you say cake is equal to new rectangle, then you'll have the width be in terms of the radius of the balls. So we come over to here. This orange one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 diameter. And then we have 1 radius here and 1 radius here. So it's 12 diameter long. Right? So right here, I could do 12 times frost radius. And then you could choose a height that is in terms of frost radius as well. So I could do, for the height frost radius, I don't know, maybe we could do times 10. And then let's go ahead and add the cake and see if that looks like a good amount. Add cake. No, that does not look like a good amount. So we got to increase the frost radius, right? Let me go ahead and put the cake in the center of the screen so it looks a little bit better. So we'll say cake dot set position to be the get width divided by 2 minus cake dot get width divided by 2. And then the height is going to be get height divided by 2 minus cake dot get height divided by 2. Okay, so we run that, and now he's in the center of the screen. Okay, and if you didn't notice, I put here not the cake width divided by 2, but I said the cake, the rectangle object, and then I ran get width on it. So what this does is it gives me back the width of this object, so the width of this shape. If you run get width alone, it gives you the width of the screen. But if you run get width using a shape object, it gives you the width of that object. Okay, so we want it to be wider, so what we can do is we could change this. Let's do 25 and hit enter. That looks about right. No, that's too much. Let's do 20. Run it. So I think that looks good. Okay, so you can use this as your starting point, and then remember the base is also going to be a function. Its width and height is also going to be a function of frost radius. So everything's just going to be in terms of frost radius. And then if you're thinking, oh, how am I going to get the balls across the screen? Well, you might want to look at the worm program, and that will show you how to get a line of balls on the screen using a for loop. And you could do that here, and you could also do that here at the bottom of the cake. Okay, so that'll get you started. And the really tricky part is getting the candles onto the cake. Okay, so you should probably save that for the end to ask the user to input a number, and then after they do, then you'll put the number of candles onto the screen. But what it is like you'll have half the number of candles on the left side, and you'll have half of the candles on the right side. And if it's an odd number, then you'll have one more candle on the right side. So again, that's the kind of like the hardest part of this project. But yeah, I think that if you start off with what I was talking about here, that'll get you going. And then if you have any issues, come and talk to me.